for Roberts. He caught it at the 50. He's going to run away. Darnold with a big league throw. Touchdown for the Jets.
We just got to go out there and play better football. We're not playing very good football right now.
Here's your ball game. 2-point conversion for the tie. Prescott throws it in the end zone, incomplete.
It'll be a long plane ride home.
Oh, boy.
Welcome back to First Take. We're coming to you live from above the Heineken River deck here at Pier 17. Big D took a big L in the Meadowlands yesterday. It was a happy early birthday to Stephen A. there. Dak Prescott failed on a late 2-point conversion that would have tied the game, giving the Jets their first win of the season and Dallas their third straight loss. It's been a tale of two different Daks this season. Prescott had 9 touchdowns and only 2 picks in the Cowboys' 3-game winning streak to start the season, but only 2 touchdowns and 4 picks during this current 3-game slide. It's important to note that despite the losing streak, Dak still leads the NFL in QBR. You hear me? Leads the NFL in QBR at 81.2. What's going on, Ryan?
Hey, Molly, how you doing?
Good, good, good. Stephen A., we will start with you. We know Dak's looking for this big contract. Is he costing himself money right now?
I think so. And I think that Jerry Jones is looking smarter and smarter. I don't think it's deserved. I think that Dak Prescott deserves his money. Please don't get me wrong. You're playing the quarterback position. You're a starting quarterback. You're reliable. You don't miss games. You're a leader. We get all of that. But this 3-game losing streak looks really, really bad. And I think that it's elevating the level of importance that Jerry Jones moved beyond Jason Garrett and get somebody like a Lincoln Riley up in here quick, fast, and in a hurry. Having said all of that, that doesn't bode well at the moment for Dak Prescott. Yesterday, he did not have Amari Cooper. He did not have Randall Cobb. I got that. Michael Gallup was your primary receiver, and he used Jason Witten. And I think that it helps Max and Ryan that Kellen Moore idiotically, I'm not calling him an idiot. I'm not calling him stupid, but that was an idiotic, stupid call at the end of the game. You target Jason Witten? That's your target, for crying out loud? I mean, really? Ryan Clark, you know what? Why don't you just retire from ESPN, go back to the NFL, and don't play defense, play offense? I mean, that's how simple that damn play was. I mean, why would you call him? Jason Witten, love him, appreciate the work he did when he was here, actually root for him. He's a really nice guy. He's a slow dude. He does not need a T.O. How about T.O. need to be up there? Let's get T.O. out of retirement and let him. I mean, they blitzed him. They got the ball out of Dak Prescott's hand. He threw it right there. How you going to call a play for Jason Witten in that situation? So you got an offensive coordinator that really had a hiccup there. We know that Jason Garrett has had plenty of hiccups, but the person who is suffering at this particular moment in time is Dak Prescott, because you're the one that's without your money, only making $2 million this year, in line for 30+ million. I would say right now, this is costing them a little change, just a little.
Okay, I was going to say no, it's not costing them any money, because my position's always been the Cowboys. At first, I thought like he's a $20 to $25 million quarterback, right? And then as he played very well early in the season, and I saw the Cowboys say, we are not going to reset the market with Ezekiel Elliott, who's not even a free agent next year. What was his recourse, really, to sit out and not reach free agency? They reset the market with Ezekiel Elliott. Biggest guarantee, biggest average annual. So, and they signed a lot of other guys. It became pretty clear they're going to reset the market with Ezekiel Elliott. With Dak Prescott. And so at that point, why should Jerry Jones do the deal now? When you reset the market, it's like by $1. It's not by that much. So it's not like if Dak plays really, really well, you're going to have to reset it by more. And if he plays so poorly, can you even really pay him less, or are you going to reset the market anyway? Or would you be willing to let him walk? And then, of course, here's the one issue, the franchise tag. They can franchise him. And if they franchise him, I suppose he costs himself some guaranteed money, although even then it's hard to say because there have been no reports about what the guarantee has been. The Cowboys have offered Dak $30 million a year. He rejected it. What was the guarantee? What was the guarantee? And the fact that those details aren't out there tells me the guarantee is not very big. I think the big picture is this. Are the Cowboys going to keep Dak or not? If they're going to keep him, they're going to reset the market. They've isolated every variable except the two they're down to is head coach and quarterback. They have everything else. My experience has been observing the NFL, Ryan, that when it comes down to that, unless you have a surefire head coach, you will choose the quarterback because they're harder to get. And a mid-level head coach is kind of interchangeable. So I think right now Dak will likely get paid the same, and Jason Garrett's on the hot seat.
Well, when you look at this team, and Stephen A., I disagree with you in saying that Jerry Jones looks good. He looks bad to me. You give Ezekiel Elliott $90 million, over 50 guaranteed. You have to reap some benefits from that. And when you go into an 0-4 team and he gets 28 carries, he has to do better than the 105 yards he was able to muster. I understand that. Right. And on the other side of that, if it's 3rd and 1 in the red zone, you have to be able to get that. And on 4th down, you can't have Kellen Moore feel like he has to run Dak Prescott in order to pick that up. And so when you look at this team, it's hurting in a lot of places other than Dak Prescott. Now let's get to the question. Has he cost himself any money? I don't believe he has, because I believe the floor of that contract was always going to be what it was, as in they're not going to go lower on Dak because they aren't winning games or because he's not proving himself a top-tier quarterback. I think what Dak wanted to do with this season was prove that he needed above and beyond what the market is set at, that he needed much more than 110 million guaranteed that Jared Goff got. And so in that sense, I don't think he's proving his point, but I believe that Jerry Jones was always going to set the market with Dak Prescott. And with, like Max says, you set it by $1. You don't necessarily have to give him 125 million guaranteed, but you have to give him more than Carson Wentz. You have to give him more than Jared Goff. On the other side of that, Jerry Jones should be thanking Carson Wentz, because I heard the conversation that you guys have, and I totally disagree with Max. I watched the game, and I see Carson Wentz as a special player. I see him playing on a very bad team with wide receivers who haven't helped him. And so by him doing a deal where he only got 107 million, that really helps the Dallas Cowboys, because Dak right now isn't playing in that type of air. He isn't willing his team to even compete in the way that Carson Wentz is, with a roster that isn't close to being as good as the Dallas Cowboys. And so when you look at this team, I think now we can stop all this. Kellen Moore is the next up noise. We can also stop this, that Jason Garrett is for sure going to be on this team, because I think if this team continues to lose, Dak Prescott gets his money, and then they throw as much as they can at a Lincoln Riley or some offensive type that they feel that they can get the best out of this offensive lineup that they've assembled.
Ryan, and I agree with you, Ryan, but the one other thing I wanted to add is this. Now, obviously, we've raved about the Dallas Cowboys defense throughout the months, okay? And we get that. It wasn't like some porous performance. I mean, what was it, Awuzie? Got taken to school by Awuzie, right? Got taken to school by Robbie Anderson yesterday on that 92-yard touchdown pass. We get all of that. I will say this, because you know how big of a fan I am of Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch, and we know what those boys can do, particularly when Sean Lee's on the field with you as well. Healthy, that makes them very formidable. We haven't heard that much about Dallas's vaunted defense, vaunted linebacker core. Now, I'm not trying to imply they're doing a poor job or anything like that, but they were difference makers last year. Yeah. There was a elevated level of intimidation. They walked into a stadium, man, and you saw this defense, and you saw these guys go after it. Dallas's defense was starting to scare people. We anticipated that was going to be the case this year based on what we saw last year. Right. And I'm here to tell y'all, fellas, we ain't seeing that yet.
No, this team is totally different from what you could have expected them to be coming into the season. I think they started to lean more on Dak. And you go through those first 3 games where you play the Giants and the Redskins and the Dolphins, and you start to believe that you're something else on offense that you are not. Last year, this team was about physicality, and it set that tone with the offensive line, the linebackers, and the running game. And they've gone away from that. They've gotten enamored with the pretty things, enamored with the things they feel like puts butts in seats. And this team needs to get back to the foundation and to the basics, and that's on Jason Garrett.
Look, first of all, real quick about Wentz. Early in the season, his receivers are dropping a lot of passes. I get that. That's not what I've seen the last couple of weeks. I have not seen a good quarterback the last couple of weeks. He's acting as though the personnel that he has is not the personnel that he has, and they're quarterbacks who can take what the defense gives them and do a better job than Wentz has done recently. But Wentz is a guy who, when they gave him the money, you're like, look, we see the heights he's capable of. He can do things like special things. The question with Dak has always been, because he wants to get paid the highest amount out of anybody, right? He wants to reset the market. The question with Dak has always been, look, he's a game manager plus maybe. Can he be more than that? And I always bring up Tom Brady and Russell Wilson, who began their careers as good game managers. That's not a dirty word, by the way. It's a really good player. Good game managers who, because they won a lot, maybe were a little overrated, but then actually fulfilled like what people were saying about them and actually became team-carrying offensive superstars. So the question with Dak is, who's big and strong and fast and has an arm and all those things. The question with Dak is, look, he's a game manager. Eventually, can he be that guy who turns into a team carrier? Maybe. Usually guys get paid on maybe, guys. But the question this year was, is it already happening? Because we saw early on, maybe it's happening before our very eyes. And what it turns out, and the reason the loss to the Jets is so bad is that's not a good team, even with Darnold back. The reason the loss to the Jets is so bad is they were doing that to bad teams. He wasn't doing that to good teams, and just now he didn't even do it to a team that's not very good.
Yeah. Well,
but I don't know that affects his bottom line.
Ezekiel Elliott didn't even know that this team was winless. So that's an issue in itself, that this team isn't being prepared to play against the people that they're facing each and every week.
Well, maybe they'll be able to capitalize against that Eagles secondary on Sunday. We shall see. Ryan sticking around here with us. Still to come, the Rams took a big L yesterday to the Niners without Todd Gurley. Has Jared Goff been overhyped? Plus, is Lamar Jackson single-handedly making the Ravens Super Bowl contenders? We'll debate that. And Stephen A., here's your boy.
First of all, Stephen, happy birthday. I had no idea that my birthday is on the 13th and yours is on the 14th. I'm going back and start over again. You're too close for that. But listen, hope you have many happy returns of the day. I understand now why you're so smart and so quick. Us boys born right in there do a good job of that.